Yo, guys, what is going on? Let me add all this shit. Hold on. Add all the little knickknacks to the screen. So, yeah, I'll start off with some low reg drama that's happening with Elon Musk and Ashley St. Clair. Ashley St. Clair was on video today selling her Tesla. She's like become this Tesla hater now. She hates Musk. Musk says he gave Ashley St. Clair $2.5 million in payment for their kid and is giving her $500K a year. Ashley St. Clair was bitching about it. She said it's not enough or something. Ashley St. Clair tries to defend herself. You weren't sending me money, you were sending support for your child. I mean, bitch, it's $500K a year. Does your kid need $500K? On. Josh, what's up, man? Rest in peace, your stock portfolio. Yeah, man. I mean, we'll see what happens on the site. You know, if anything, I'm pretty happy for the second, just because we're gonna get some actual fucking news. I mean, it's been pretty dry in terms of the news. I shouldn't say that because Trump's gonna bomb Iran, and it's not gonna be the news that I want to report on. But we're trying to get some news, man, some actual news here. Yeah, Musk wants a paternity test to see if the kid's even his. It probably is. I mean, I would imagine there's no way she would do all of this if she wasn't like 99% sure it was Musk's kid. But I mean, this type of stuff is ridiculous. This woman, is he seriously sending you $500K and you're pulling the whole card like, oh, it's for my son? $500,000 child support for your son? TikTok was sold, really? Is that true? To Oracle. I can never remember that name, Oracle. Oracle Arena. Did Ashley get ratioed? Yeah, she got ratioed really badly from what I saw. I mean, I haven't seen the recent update on it, but yeah, it was. I mean, it's just like she either has to do a better job of communicating her point, or it's like, oh, I get $500K a year for my kid. You need $500K for your kid? Come on, that's ridiculous. Elon is a dummy for knocking up a random gold digger. Well, this is what Elon does. I mean, he's got like five different baby mamas. Is it really all that surprising? But I mean, I don't know what she expected. Obviously, he wanted to keep it a secret. She was pissed off about it, I guess. I mean, these type of things, when you've got like 7 or 8 different fucking baby mamas, it's a mess. Elon is a retard, but having white kids is incredibly based. But I mean, yeah, we do have a big problem with that in this country. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, that's such a long fix to have for that to change. But it's like a multi-decade fix. If rates come down, monthly payments will cover the price of hikes for automakers. Tariff money will help the deficit, thus help credit cards and lower yield. Yeah, I mean, but do you really think rates are going to come down, dude? I've been seeing some bearish stuff I mean, we're relying on the Fed here. They really haven't played nice with Trump. If we get a good inflation number, do you think that they're going to come down? Or do you think it's going to take even more? I mean, because they look at core inflation. I'm not even sure they look. It's like, I don't know, man. I know we need the interest rates to come down. We really do. And I thought there was like a slight chance it was going to happen on the 19th or whenever their meeting was, and it didn't. Tim Walz is still going after Elon. Yeah, I just think their party has an identity crisis right now. The Democrats. they're it's an off year for them. So and they still do well in local elections. So it's like, does it really matter? I mean, if this continues for them, it's going to be a huge problem. But did you drink Saratoga water? Oh, is that the morning routine water you're talking about? I never drank that. I mean, they said it was like $43 or something. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. I gotta stop drinking so much during. I really like. I gotta stop drinking water so much during my streams because I just get. I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom. Can you explain what the Fed is and or does? Well, they're supposed to balance the economy and control inflation, but the Fed doesn't make sense anymore, honestly. I know Elon came out and said, end the Fed. They're like a separate entity from the US government that controls inflation and through interest rates. And dude, how can I have my portfolio get nuked? My portfolio has already been nuked, brother. I mean, what is it gonna do? Go lower? I mean, dude, this is happening again. I think this already got overturned or something, but now they're blocking Trump for removing transgender troops from the military after they're medically disqualified. These judges, and they're all very liberal judges too. Odds of a stock market crash. Thank you for that $5 donation. I don't know, man. People are saying it's already priced in. I mean, it just depends on. To be honest, the reciprocal tariffs do look pretty legit in terms of what Trump's going to be doing. Because sometimes Trump will say he'll do something and then he's timid about the tariffs and it's only on a select number of countries. Because he's really made it seem like the tariffs are going to be on every single country in terms of countries that have tariffs on us. And if that's the case, if it's 25%, it's going to be a pretty big reaction from the stock market, I would say. And whether I don't, it's not going to be a crash. I mean, it depends what you characterize as a crash, but I don't think it'll be a crash. But I think it'll go down for sure. Wednesday is the real nuking. Tomorrow's the first. Yeah, Wednesday would be the nuking. You see this as a chance to buy into the market? I mean, yeah, it's a buying opportunity for people. I mean, depending on how much more Trump does with tariffs. Here's another judge. Obama judge. Stops Trump from revoking temporary protected status for 350K Venezuelans. That's that Venezuelan immigration thing they had going with Haiti as well, where it gave them a pathway to citizenship, but they were all going to be deported back anyways. I mean, this is just such a mess when you do stuff like this, when they have these orders to where they allow temporary status. That's how a lot of immigrants got in the first place. It wasn't even like they're illegal. They just apply for asylum and they manipulate the asylum process. And then they never appear in court. When stocks fall, 10-year yield rate falls because more investors pile into treasuries. Yeah, I've heard 10-year yield rate is the best thing to look at in terms of the economy's performance. Juan, what's up, man? Bro, that dude always comments the same exact thing. It's interesting. Tariffs are priced in. I mean, but dude, if tariffs are priced in, then why did tariffs nuke them? I don't want to say nuke the market, but significantly tank the market the last like 3 times Trump announced big tariffs. Like the day of. Maybe you could say, well, now we're anticipating it, so it's already priced in. I mean, that's something you could say. Yeah, the Le Pen situation, that's terrible. And you're seeing more and more. They tried to do it to Trump, and that's what Trump really talked about. Trump discussed this situation. Well, let's actually. What is this, Kid Rock? Democrats saying they'd bring Obama out of retirement, trying to seek a third term. Trump saying he'd love that. Yeah, Trump is really playing into it. But Trump commented on this situation in France. I know this.
They're going to be dropping their tariffs.
But also, what happened in France today, Mr. President, Marine Le Pen, the far-right leader, got convicted in court and is now banned from running for office for 5 years. Do you have a comment?
That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. I know all about it, and a lot of people thought she wasn't going to be convicted of anything, and I don't know if it means conviction, but she was banned for running for 5 years, and she's the leading candidate. That sounds like this country. That sounds very much like this country. Okay.
Yeah, the difference is we're too right-wing for it. If we were more left-wing like France, they definitely would have put Trump in jail. They would have gotten away with it. But the country is split, the United States. If we were more left-wing, Trump would be in jail or he would be barred from running for sure. But again, with those European countries, they're a lot more left-wing. They can do this. And she was leading the polls. I mean, their election's not until 2027, but she was like 37%. The second closest was 20%. They call her far right. It's like anytime you say, oh, maybe we shouldn't have illegal immigrants, they'll automatically call you far right in Europe. It's crazy. Trump and Musk can rein in the spending with the tariff money. Investors have more confidence. Yeah, I mean the tariff money could be pretty. It could be a good revenue source. If they're saying it could be 600 billion, I don't know if it's gonna be that though. Thoughts on the GOP expanding the map, trying to build coalitions in places like Minnesota or New Jersey? Well, I think New Jersey makes sense. Minnesota's kind of the same thing, man. I don't think Minnesota's gonna. I mean, it's possible to turn Minnesota into a swing state just because it's been relatively close. What was it? It was a 1-point win in 2016 for Hillary. Biden won it by like 9 or 10, and then it was about 5. So to me, New Jersey, we're seeing a more rapid shift, so that's why I'd be more optimistic about New Jersey. You could also argue, well, Democrats didn't invest any resources in New Jersey. That's why it was as close as it was. But worst case, you're forcing Democrats to divert funds to New Jersey to try and keep that state. If you can make it a swing state, it just expands your math even more. I mean, Republicans have done a great job with the electoral math compared to where they were, say, back in 2019, 2020. I mean, certainly 2016 with the Hillary election. But they've got it now to where Florida and Texas are locked down. Back in 2016, people were saying Florida was a Dem lean, Texas was a swing state. So you've got those 2 states locked down, and they're getting population, so they're going to be getting more electoral votes. And you've got Ohio locked down. It's really those 3. I mean, those are 3. Texas was always a Republican state, obviously, but Ohio and Florida, that's a lot of electoral votes that were swing. They're not swing anymore. So you can focus on other avenues and other states. So, I mean, I think their math is improving significantly, certainly. Minnesota and, I mean, also New Hampshire might be an option. But, I mean, how much do you want to invest in New Hampshire? It's got like 4 electoral votes. I don't know. Thoughts on Scott Pressler? I mean, it seems like he's, Seems like he's helping get voters out, and obviously he was a big help in Pennsylvania with the registration there during the election. Bill Maher visited Trump. Yeah, I mean, who cares though? It's like, but yeah, apparently he's having a dinner with him or something. New Jersey would be crazy red state with that kind of population density. Yeah, it's odd. It would be odd. And again, I wonder, what are the actual chances of swinging it? Because people have told me there's not much of a chance. It was just Democrats asleep at the wheel, and which maybe that ends up being. But I mean, New Jersey, there was significant Trump support throughout all that election cycle. I remember that rally in New Jersey that had like 100,000 people, and that was like shocking. I mean, I thought New Jersey would be like 9 or 10, maybe 12 points, but it was like the final, like a 6-point win for Harris. Do you think Maher is going to become a Republican? No, that's the grift that he does, where he talks to both sides, and he's like an old fashioned liberal, and so he'll stay a liberal for sure. So in the UK, in the UK they banned ninja swords. Yeah, the UK is such a mess. You see, they've been promoting, Starmer's been promoting that documentary that's anti-male improvement. It's like this kid that's obsessed with Andrew Tate, and he goes and stabs someone. It's a white kid, of course. It's just totally misrepresenting of the knife crimes and the issues they've had with all the immigrants there. Totally misrepresenting, pure propaganda state film. Now Starmer is demanding and saying they need to play this in classrooms for kids. So that's how far the UK is going, and they've already said, and they've admitted, yeah, we're going to, in terms of crimes, white males are going to be charged with like harsher sentences for the same crimes. It's absurd. And Starmer said, well, I'm against that. I'm against that, though. Like, how is this even a thing in the UK? The UK, it boggles my mind. And you look at what's going on in France, and this is like, I mean, Trump is well within his right to leave NATO with what these countries are doing, especially how they're treating right-wing candidates in Europe. It's very, very bad, and it's totally anti-democratic, and they tried to do it in the United States. They couldn't because we're too conservative. See, if we were like these liberal countries in Europe, like 70% liberal, Trump would have been steamrolled. They would have just said, you're going to jail, we don't care, you're radical, January 6th, that's it, you're done. But we're not liberal enough for that, so it didn't happen. It just goes to show you how liberal a country gets. You really do lose the whole idea. They say they fight for democracy until they get like a super majority, and then it's just any candidate we don't like, you're gone. Or we're going to rail against you, we're going to sabotage you, like they did in Germany. Thoughts on China blocking Panama Canal? Yeah, I mean, I guess obviously they're not too happy to give up control of that. So that becomes a big geopolitical situation. That's going to be very annoying, I have a feeling. Or maybe it was a hang-up in terms of the deal. I don't know. You could look at it from a few different ways, but the Chinese Communist Party was not happy that Hong Kong did not consult them before selling the ports to right on the sides of the canal. Doge 120 billion. I'm not sure that number's right, man. I mean, well, let's hope it is, but I've been hearing they've been flubbing their numbers, Doge has. But I mean, they have certainly saved money, I agree. Tariffs can be 480 billion, discounting 20% demand pullback from current tariffs, so 600 billion already. Debt refinancing below current will help. Well, yeah, they have to refinance. You're talking about the debt that Trump has to refinance. What is it? 6% of the debt he has to refinance in 2026. No, it's not. It's $6 trillion he has to refinance in 2026. Yeah, you would prefer to do that at lower interest rates for sure. Why do we stay in NATO? Well, it's very complicated when it comes to military agreements. We would want to, leaving NATO would be a long, drawn out thing to where you would want to leverage yourself as a superpower to be able to get another good agreement, or if we were to stay in NATO, we would have to get something from these other countries to make it worth our while. It just would save 900 billion a year leaving NATO. Well, no, we wouldn't completely cut our military budget. No, we would. I think we should lower the military budget, but it, we'd still have a massive military budget if we left NATO. It proves the Panama Canal is currently owned by the Chinese state if they refuse to sell. Well, no, the canal is owned by Panama. The ports surrounding the canal are owned by China. But I mean, I don't think liberals were disputing that. I really didn't see liberals come out against what Trump was doing with the canal outside of like Trump saying he might invade it. Because they know it's smart to get China influence out. But no, I mean, China doesn't own it, but they have influence over it. But that's what they do everywhere. It's called soft power. Are you going to do an April Fool's joke video? I don't think so, man, honestly. There's going to be so much April Fool's bullshit tomorrow. Just with the internet and everything like that. Plus, it's April 1st. I mean, that's, when it becomes a new month, you like to do videos that are going to do well. You start off the month making, good money rather than with duds and stuff. And, I've kind of tailed off towards the end of this month just because with YouTube, it's just month by month is how they pay you. It's not like a 2-week increment. Which I like month by month, honestly, because it's easier to, make a decent amount rather than have, like, pressure of 2 weeks. How did the analytics bracket do? It depends. If Duke wins, I'm sure that bracket, or I think I had Duke winning that bracket. I think I had Auburn winning that bracket, actually. Yeah, I think that bracket's, like, not doing that well. But, dude, all of our brackets are, like, the exact same place, like, because it's such chalky, 76, 85. It's just such chalky. If Houston wins it all, this will be like the 99 percentile. But if Houston doesn't, it's not going to be shit. Just depends because it's all the 1 seeds. And we all picked the 1 seeds to win anyways. Like, look at this. So if I have Houston, they're only at 9% chance, 9% picked. So if they end up winning, that's going to be very good for me. The U.S. should ask for a refund on the Paris Climate Accord contributions. Yeah, but who would pay us for that? Nobody's gonna pay us for that. Nobody's gonna agree to that. Plus at this point we're out of it. The problem is with the Paris Climate Accord is the Democrats are just gonna get us back into it. The Paris Climate Accord is not. There's nothing that we do in terms of like helping. People get it wrong with the Paris Climate Accord. They think it's like some initiative to make sure our CO2 emissions are low or something, or like an agreement. It's all it is us giving poor countries clean energy. Like we donate solar panels to Nicaragua and shit. I'm not kidding if you look it up. That's all it is. It's like a slush fund for poor countries who I guess have dirty. It's not even, they not necessarily even have dirty air, just they don't have the means to produce renewable energy. We have to give them stuff because we have a lot more money than them. But it's just, there's no actual, it's not like, okay, the Paris Climate Accord is every country investing X amount into clean energy. That's not what it is. It's just us giving poor countries clean energy. Do you think Russia will do anything if the U.S. gets Greenland? Well, I think there's always going to be leverage plays, certainly by Russia and China, if the United States territorial. Well, it depends how the United States gets them. Is there an aggression from the United States, or that Greenland stuff is just so annoying because it really is. The Trump administration. I guess you could just take Greenland, but it would be a bad look. But you want to get the people of Greenland on your side. Which is why I'm surprised they haven't offered them anything. Or at least talked to their officials about it. But you can't really, you would assume Russia would be like, they would want something. They would say, well, if you're going to take Greenland, you're already such a massive superpower. We're going to want a better peace deal or something. They're going to try and leverage it. But it might not matter. I'm not sure Russia has the amount of power to be able to do that. Trump is right, reshoring up manufacturing if we're going into an arms race against China. Not to mention Middle America will benefit instead of big cities. No, I agree totally. I mean, when you talk about manufacturing against China, you can't, because of their population, you really can't beat them in that. But you need to be able to produce. This just a relationship we've had with China is completely unhealthy, where these companies, because it's cheaper to produce in China with their slave labor and they produce cheaper products. It's just not, that's not what we want here in the United States. It's really, and when you've got something like the coronavirus where it shuts everything down, it shuts down all trade. Now you're talking about some supply chain issues in the United States if everything is produced in China. We don't want that. And unfortunately, people forgot about that like right after COVID ended, like, oh, this could be a big issue. How are we going to rely on China, who's already said they want to pass us in terms of just overall power and might throughout the world by 2050? We're going to rely on them to produce half of our shit. Does that make a lot of sense? And I mean, that's why Biden kept all the tariffs on China, because they know it as well. But obviously, the Democrats would not agree with tariffs on Mexico and Canada, but they agree with them on China. All number one seeds for the Final Four. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. But I mean, it probably will be good games, I guess. They better be good games if they're all one seeds, right? But it's just the two seeds I mean, I thought the two seeds were not bad. Yeah, the two seeds were good, except St. John's. But I mean, I was surprised Bama got destroyed like that. I thought Bama would put up a better fight against Duke. Russia will be happy if we take Greenland because Europe will freak out and Russia is waiting for us to leave NATO. He doesn't fear Europe, just us. Yeah, I mean, they would certainly, that would be an amazing plus for Russia. There's no doubt about it, us leaving NATO. And that would hurt relations between the United States and NATO. So obviously that's something that would indirectly benefit Russia. There's no doubt about it. I mean, not us getting footing in the Arctic, but us leaving NATO. And you're right, that would really hurt relations. I don't know if that would. I mean, what would these European countries, even if we take Greenland, are they in any position to say, oh, like, they can't do anything? They're just not powerful enough. They wouldn't want us to leave their military agreement. I mean, it would be dumb. I think Trump would just leave it on his own with depleted relations between us and those European countries. I mean, the relations are already bad as is after Trump is threatened with Greenland, and obviously there's a disagreement on Russia, but there was always going to be a disagreement. It's based off of geographic location. Obviously, we're going to have a disagreement with Europe about Russia and their power and their might. And a lot of the Europe stuff is fear-mongering anyways about Russia. Look at Russia's GDP. I mean, it's not everything, but the thing that Russia does have is a lot of resources. They do have a ton of resources. What are the major red flags of Trump administration so far? I mean, the Middle Eastern stuff is not good. Middle Eastern stuff is not good, man. But I mean, this is early on. We have to wait and see how these tariffs play out, because Trump really wanted to tether himself to these tariffs and bringing back jobs and production here. So that's really what's going to be a make or break. You want the deportations to get up as well, but the deporting people, it's a very, very costly process. And I agree, it has to happen. It does. It must happen. And I think Trump has to commit to it. That's the thing. Just take Greenland and partner with Russia. I don't know what Trump would do. I mean, the problem with partnering with Russia is if a Democrat gets into office, I mean, what happens to that agreement? Because if they're vehemently against Russia and you partner with them, this is the issue with these 4-year terms. All of Auburn and Florida's best player are 5-year super seniors. I know, dude. SEC has a lot of that shit. Look at Alabama. But Auburn's really bad. You're right. And you know what, dude? I sent out a tweet today. I was like, they really got to start doing this. It's 4 years and you're done. Because it's really hurting both, not so much college football, a little bit college football, but really college basketball. These are like 6-year kids. And, they're still somehow utilizing that COVID year. And it's like, we're like 5 years past that. If we left NATO, UK and others could handle Russia. Well, hopefully they wouldn't have to. We wouldn't want to see the UK fighting Russia at all. But I mean, I agree. I don't think Russia's all that powerful. I mean, outside of nukes. So it's like, how do you really gauge that? I saw that Pete Hegseth orders sex-neutral training. I mean, dude, come on. Like, this is such common sense stuff. For the military, of course we need that. Like, this is life or death. This is fighting. Come on. Epstein debacle was a big red flag. I mean, yeah, but it's like, what do we really think we're gonna get out of Epstein, man? I mean, I agree. I wish something was released. It was a really big bust. I don't think they're gonna be releasing too much out of the Epstein stuff. Reaction to Ye's interview soon. What, in the KKK outfit? Is that what it was? I think I saw that, or I saw like a clip of him putting it on. China would be an issue in partnering with Russia. Russia sees us as unreliable because of our election swings, so they would take reliable China over powerful. Yeah, I mean, well, we would be. It's obvious there's a party in the United States that really hates Russia, so would a relationship with Russia? I mean, obviously you can have a relationship with Russia for when Trump's in, but you really can't go into an agreement with Russia because of liberals. This is not. It's not like they're they have a neutral feeling on Russia. So I don't think it would really work out for the United States or Russia because of that, unless you could guarantee a Trump type leadership for the next decades, which obviously you can't. I'm surprised. I'm a little bit surprised China and Russia don't have a closer relationship. You would just think, with how powerful NATO is, there would be an Eastern alliance to counter it, but there's really no official Eastern relationship. You think most countries will cave on tariffs? They won't be able to withstand them for more than a couple of months. Yeah, but my question is, I mean, what's the purpose of putting the, like, I know the purpose, it's to get them to remove their tariffs, but isn't the whole idea to up domestic production? Because the thing is, if Trump just wants to get these countries to remove their tariffs, we're not going to be upping domestic production at all. Because it's going to lower the cost of U.S. companies buying from overseas if the countries remove their tariffs against us. So, I mean, I know what you're saying, and it would be a win for Trump because you're making something happen that previously was never going to happen by enacting these tariffs and putting pressure on countries to remove theirs. Appreciate your perspective, DG. Thank you for what you do. I appreciate that, Silversmith. Thank you, man. Signalgate didn't go far. Yeah, dude, they did did you see the investigation ended? They said they ended the investigation into Signalgate. I think it was Waltz who fucked up. That's what I'd go with. But I don't think the fear-mongering about using Signal was proper. From what I know, a lot of those government officials, even when it comes to stuff, plus that stuff that they discussed was not like internal war plans. And so to use Signal for something like that, I think it is appropriate. The media tried to say, well, that's not appropriate, that's really bad, but apparently a Signal is used a lot for those type of things. So that's what they really lied about. But I agree. I mean, I think it was a bad look, but I said it would go away. And it wasn't even Hegseth's fault. I mean, it was Waltz and maybe someone under Waltz. We don't really know. China likes to pretend they're neutral. I know China's really wishy-washy on those type of things, like big military agreements. We're so fucked in the coming years. Trump's our last breath. Yeah, but even the problem with Trump is it's only 4 years. I mean, obviously, I guess if Vance wins and stuff, you could extend it. Like if you got 12 years of Republican leadership and if the debt gets, imagine 12 years of Republican leadership. I mean, we have to do something about this debt. I mean, seriously, like, and I'm not blaming Trump for, like, I mean, Trump's first term, but the thing is they always blame, like, well, Republicans always add so much to the debt. Yeah, because we give fucking tax breaks. What do you guys give? Like, serious, you have social programs. That's what liberals give. But I hopefully something happens. I mean, you just can't keep dealing with the $2 trillion added every year. Just watch your entire 8-hour election night stream. Holy shit, man. Yeah, that was a long stream, bro. A long stream. The thing is, I could have streamed even longer that night. I was just so beat from doing it because I stopped streaming before Trump even spoke. And I remember watching Trump speak when I went downstairs to watch it, like 3:30 in the morning. Thoughts on Trump's third term talk? Yeah, I mean, you take a look at my video. It's very hard. You know, you've got all these Republicans saying, well, you can work around the 22nd Amendment by having Trump be the VP, and it's like he's the shadow president. And there's, you know, when he's running, everyone knows that Trump's going to go in and Vance during his inauguration is going to step down for Trump. The 12th Amendment doesn't allow that. Trump is not allowed to be, I mean, the other thing is they're trying to like reinterpret the 12th Amendment because they say, well, the 22nd Amendment came after the 12th Amendment, so the 12th Amendment is void. What? But the 12th Amendment says you cannot run for VP if you're ineligible to be the president. Since Trump has served 2 terms, he would not be eligible to be the president, so he can't run for VP. You know, it's one of those things to where say anything about the special election in Florida tomorrow. Isn't there 2 special elections? I think the Republicans are going to win both of them, both the special elections. But it's looking like they might underperform the Trump numbers in those districts. Not that it matters. I think they're both going to win by double digits. Thoughts on no tax under 150K? I don't know how it's implemented. You know, I guess it comes through government efficiency. If you're able to save money, you could possibly do that. You know, you almost wonder with some of this type of stuff, and this will never pass. I'm just saying, if we want to try and get Republican leadership for like decades, it's like if you can eliminate taxes on people, I'm not saying you can, it's like you can manipulate the voting a little bit in terms of, well, you know, maybe certain people can vote, certain people can't, because they always say, well, everyone should be able to vote because they pay taxes. Well, what if we take away your taxes then? You know, that's something to think about, but it will never happen because you would need any type of radical change within the U.S. government. It's never going to happen. It just requires too much support from the other party for it to go, for anything like that to go through. You voted red and it's all fake Dem hype that they even have a chance. Deep red. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything about either of those special elections being close in Florida. But they might get all happy because they're closer than the amount that Trump won them. But it's irrelevant. It's an off year. I mean, but that's where Republicans get screwed by saying it's an off year. So you actually shouldn't say that. But this election in Wisconsin is very important. That's why Musk was there. I mean, you know, I saw that poll from Trafalgar. Trafalgar brings out a poll. It says Crawford is up by 1. Well, we'll see. I don't know, man. Executive order. Oh, I saw this on crackdown on price gouging and ticket scalping in the entertainment industry. Yeah, there's really bad. They use bots to scalp tickets right when they go on sale and they resell them on secondary markets. This is a good I mean, I haven't read it, but it seems like this is a pretty popular executive order by Trump. Of course, nobody's going to hear about it, but what are you going to do? Talking about the arrests that they've made. Deported 120 people on terrorist watch lists. Hooters is gone. I heard they were going bankrupt a few weeks ago. Illegal border crossings hit stunning new low in March, down 94% in a year. Migrants are scared of the consequences now, and also it's just sealed. They've sealed. They have a presence on the border now. They have border patrol agents all. I mean, Trump does know at least that you must secure it this term, and he's doing a good job in securing it. It's good to see they've sealed it basically completely, and really Trump needs to start pumping out these numbers on the amount of illegals that have come in, because I'm sure they're extremely, extremely low, and it's good propaganda for him. Nobody is going to eliminate taxes, and if it happens, they will triple tax you on the back end of something. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess it depends on how much, what percentage of tax they eliminate, like under 100K, under 150K. Thoughts on Terrence and Philip leaving? I don't know. I don't know about that, man. Trafalgar, very reliable. I mean, they're a Republican pollster. The Republican pollsters did well because Trump won, for sure. I don't know if I call them very reliable. Have they even deported 1,000 illegals? Well, they've deported well over 1,000. They were deporting over 1,000 a day. I don't know what they're deporting now. I think it's a lot less, but when they were reporting numbers, they were deporting over 1,000 a day. Ashley St. Clair, is she a lib? No, I mean she's joining in on the Tesla hate because she's having problems with Musk. I mean, she just seems so bad. She's pissed off. I mean, if she is seriously getting 500K every year, how does she expect anyone to be on her side here? We understand that Musk he's got the thing. He runs the companies. He has all these kids with different people. We get it, but it's like, how do you expect to be getting support from the public if you're getting 500K and you're bitching about the amount of money you're getting, and you're selling your Tesla? Like, she's selling her Tesla. She's like, I have to do it because, like, the Tesla was a gift from Elon. The whole thing is just such a joke. The Tesla's a gift from Elon. She sells it. She's like, yeah, look at his stock. Look at the stock price of Tesla. It's like fucking Tim Walz 2.0. Lady, come on. How are you going to get the support of the public if you're like, I have to sell the Tesla. We have to eat ramen noodles. We were scraping by. I only got $500,000 in my last check from Elon. I have a maid. It's so hard. What do you think the future of the Republican Party after Trump? Would future candidates continue the MAGA policies? I mean, it's hard to say. Trump really is MAGA, so it's like you bring in someone like Vance. I mean, the thing is, if it was Vance, it would be a very slow transition, meaning Trump would still have enormous control. Even if Vance was president and Trump had basically retired, there would still be Trump's fingerprints all over it to a degree, but it would change. I mean, it would change 100%. People who don't think we should not take Greenland are the same people that would still have us at 13 states. I know, dude. Well, the thing is, it's just not, the people don't know. That's the problem. They don't know what Greenland, and it's one of those things to where it's just such an amazing opportunity. It's like you do it, and then in 50 years, people are like, wow, that was such a great get. But it's like, you can't really, we're in 2025, so. Am I voting for Brad Schimmel? Well, no, I'm not. I'm not in Wisconsin. I don't live in Wisconsin, so. It's your God-given right to vote Trump 2028. Yeah, but it's probably going to be a wasted vote, man. Come on. New Greenland PM said, we will never be for sale. We will never be Americans. Did he just say that today, or is that rhetoric that he's already used? I was Kid Rock at the White House today because he's friends with Trump. He's been friends with Trump for a while. And so Trump's like, I'm going to do something nice for Kid Rock, my friend, and Bill Maher is going to be there. I mean, they still got this map up of the Gulf of America. Imagine they acquired Greenland. There'd be a massive map of Greenland if they acquired that. Oh, God. Yeah, I saw this, reviewing $9 billion in Harvard funding. I mean, they really shouldn't be funding these Ivy Leagues anyways, but the reason is so bad. Make another March Madness video. I mean, there's really not much to talk about with March Madness at this point. It's just the Final Four. I'll probably do one video talking about where my bracket finished, though. Didn't Denmark's government collapse in 6 hours in World War II? Yeah, I mean, a lot of those European countries got just steamrolled by Nazi Germany. But yeah, I mean, that was more of just an occupation. They didn't, of Denmark. It wasn't too hard for Germany, but the whole situation is just like, I've explained it so many times, but it's such a niche thing. Nobody really cares. Well, I mean, people care. That's why I can make videos on it. But just like in the grand scheme of American politics, just not even American politics, just in general. Texas GOP will add Trump to the 2028 ballot. All right, man, we get it. All right, man. I understand. I appreciate you for donating. I really do. But it's like, we understand you want Trump to run, but we have to just... I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Northern Greenland is rightfully America's. Yeah, I mean, but we're not going to split it up. I mean, honestly, it would make sense for us to just take Northern Greenland because we would have access to still a lot of minerals, and also that would be the Arctic control. But I wouldn't want just Northern Greenland. It's pretty pathetic. They think there's some great nation that would be able to even hold back the United States with a tenth of force. You think? I don't think Greenland really or I don't think Denmark really thinks that. It's just all posturing, dude. Because they have the European support. So it's like, oh, how dare Trump even say this? This is disgusting. He's fascist. All they do is posture. Macron is such a clown. France donated $9 billion to Ukraine and think they can boss around NATO. Yeah, I know. Well, it's France and the UK are the two big countries that are doing that. Just join us, Trump 2028 campaign. And it's all right, man. We get it, man. It's enough. Democrats will probably get revenge and win the House and Senate and President. I mean, it's way too early to predict anything like that. Democrats don't even have a leader right now. They're not going to win the Senate, though. That's not going to happen. The House is possible for them. The President, of course, it's possible in 3 years. I mean, but we don't know where their party's going to be. We don't know how well Trump's going to do. You hope we take Greenland and Western Canada. Your dad's from Alberta. Your grandmother's from Greenland. That's pretty crazy if that's true. To add both of those to the United States. And That's interesting. But yeah, I mean, I think for Canada, it depends on Carney winning. I actually haven't looked at that recently. Yeah, so here's the reciprocal tariffs. 87% chance EU will impose tariffs on the United States before May. Man, even that poll didn't do jack shit to this. I don't know why this is so. It should be like 75-25. I feel like, I don't know. Maybe it's just hopium from me. But look at this. 66. It really hasn't moved much. Yeah, if Carney wins, man, let's say it's like 65-35 right now. Actually, does that even? Yeah, that makes sense. Rapid response, do you like it or is it propaganda? Well, obviously it's propaganda. It's just news that's pro-Trump. I mean, that's what it is. If Paul Vier loses, Alberta will be 51st state. I mean, you can't really predict that. I think it would definitely spur a lot of conversation. And so that would be good for me because, you know, I'd do videos on it and stuff. It would definitely spur a lot of conversation. I don't know. We can't say for sure they'd be the 51st state, but there'd be a lot of people that would be angry. I mean, the situation in Canada is not good. And there's going to be a lot of people that say there's manipulation within that election if Carney wins, just because it seems so obvious that I mean, I know they're liberal. And so when you're entrenched liberal and you get this momentum and there's like a coalition now where all the other liberal parties are joining, or at least the voters of the parties are joining to vote for Carney. America owes an apology to Ireland, sending Rosie O'Donnell there. It is so odd that she went to Ireland, like that bitch. And seriously, like to me, that's your life has been ruined, seriously, if you do that. I mean, I can kind of understand Ellen going to the UK because I mean, she got like canceled in the United States. But Rosie O'Donnell literally just left because Trump triggers her. Like, it is pretty crazy how some people just allow politics to just destroy their lives. And it's not like Trump's going to make her life worse or like, it's just all this obsession. Couldn't we just buy a portion of Greenland? Yeah, but I mean, do you? Yeah, I mean, you want to? I would say buy northern Greenland if we were going to buy a portion of it. But I mean, they're saying it's not for sale. But this is what these countries do. It's all this posturing bullshit from smaller countries. They don't want to work with the United States. They don't like Trump. So there's no cooperation from these countries at all. They would just say none of it's for sale. We're not doing it. Do you think Vance or Bernie would win an election if it were held today? Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders is not winning any election. He's too old, and it's no, too socialist, too old. It's not gonna happen with Bernie. You've called women fat pigs, slobs, and disgusting, yeah, and disgusting animals. Only Rosie O'Donnell. Yeah, and then Megyn Kelly got bitchy. She's like, it was much more than just Rosie. It was much more than her. Megyn Kelly hated Trump during that debate. The smaller countries would rather die in poverty than work with Trump. That's actually legit the truth. It is. If you look at the situation in Greenland, it's very dire. I mean, they can survive, but they're certainly not living a life of luxury. Like, the funny thing is when they say, well, we've got universal health care and all these benefits, and you look at like the ranking of where they're at in terms of quality of life, they're like at the bottom. It's like, come on, really? This is not a wealthy country at all. At all. But they would rather be poor than help Trump. You're right. I mean, that's legit. That's how Europe thinks. Puerto Rico is better as a territory. Yeah, no, in Puerto Rico, obviously, we're going to be against Puerto Rico being a state. Well, Puerto Rico, their main language is not even English. It wouldn't make sense to add them. As well as, honestly, a lot of their population does not want to be a state because it's more taxes. So there's a number of things working against that. Liberals have been trying to make them a state. It's just not. You're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Those people don't want to become a state. Some of them do, but the vast majority either want to be independent completely from the United States or be a territory. Puerto Rico's too liberal. Well, yeah, but there's also other things. But yeah, you're right. That's like the main reason why we would be against that. But again, it's other things on top of that. Now Megyn Kelly is very pro-Trump. Yeah, she's been very pro-Trump for a while at this point. But that was back when Trump, nobody thought he could win anything. Not even the Republican primary, they didn't think he could win. Even though he was technically leading, there were a bunch of people. Rubio, Cruz, Jeb, Chris Christie, Rand Paul, John Kasich, some old friends. Puerto Rico doesn't want statehood. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Some of the people there do, but most don't. I mean, it's a lot of liberal propaganda trying to push it. I thought the Atlanta Fed is going to be wrong. Man, is it seriously going to be plus 2.5? That's crazy. I saw the forecast; it was like plus 0.3. They were saying on CNBC. And plus 2.5 for especially considering the economic situation. Although I guess GDP really isn't impacted by that, but can Canada survive without the U.S.? I mean, they would have to find someone out. They would have to find other trading partners. It would be very hard for them. But I mean, in terms of military, they probably would just. If they get invaded, they'd be just fucked. Favorite thing Trump has done so far? Well, we're operating from a very short window. I think Trump's right now biggest, in terms of like policy, like biggest accomplishment, what he's done. You can't really say the government efficiency stuff just because I don't know where it's going to lead. I mean, you could say, well, if you shut down USAID, that's especially considering the amount of money that was going to liberals, it's very important. I mean, I guess the border sealing is very good because he has basically completely sealed the border. Obviously, the deportations need to increase, but it's hard because we're only 2.5 months in. There's no update on the wars. I mean, you could say, well, Trump is forcing the ceasefire. That's a really good achievement, but we haven't seen it completed yet. So there's going to be a lot of stuff for Trump, but it's very early on. Does Elon sue Ashley St. Clair? I don't think so. I feel like Elon would end up looking pretty bad there. You still think Canada is much more right-leaning than much of Europe? I think they're similar, honestly. And it depends the areas of Europe. Like, you look at Poland, not so much right-wing, or not crazy right-wing. You look at Italy, maybe changing a little bit. I mean, even parts of UK with reform, I mean, some of them are waking up a little, but it's going to take a lot longer. But I mean, Canada, yeah, there's conservative areas of Canada, but so much of it is liberal, especially on the eastern side. Do you think Trump would invade Canada if they crossed a red line, like joining the EU or tried to acquire? Yeah, in terms of like a military invasion, I don't see that happening for the United States. I mean, unless Canada really does something crazy, like real crazy, which they're not going to. Thoughts on Florida? Would you ever move there? I mean, Florida's a good vacation spot. You know, they're definitely more Republican state now. I just don't. The weather's a little bit too warm, I think. Atlas Intel poll. Oh man, Crawford up by 7. Crawford 53, Schimmel 46. Yeah, I mean it. And that's going to be an annoying thing to deal with if that happens, because you're going to get all the people are going to be mad, you know. But it is what it is. I mean, it's the more local election. Do you foresee any major, broader changes in the next 50? Well, in the next 50 years, dude, I would need I can't predict the way in which voters in the United States or in the world are going to shift in terms of their ideologies. You could say that. I don't even know if we are shifting. I mean, you could say definitely there's a trend with young men shifting to the right, and in some cases pretty far right. Will that really matter with the amount of immigrants and the amount of young women that are going to college that are becoming liberal? I don't know if it'll matter. I mean, it'll matter a little bit, but the other thing is these boomers are all turning into liberals, which is pretty crazy. But that's a question that, it's like it requires like a 50-minute a long answer, in terms of what will happen in the next 50 years in politics in the United States. I mean, man, imagine you could actually look into the future and see. That'd be crazy. But yeah, I mean, there's trends. Young women are very liberal now. Young men are very conservative. Boomers, older people are starting to be a little bit more liberal than they previously were. Mount Rushmore has enough room for President Trump's face, says Doug Burgum. Doug Burgum. He ran for president, Doug Burgum. Remember when he was on the debate stage? Those primaries? Then they were like, Trump's going to pick him as the VP because he has money. I remember that being a rumor. But yeah, I don't know about the Mount Rushmore stuff. I think it's a bit early for that. Come on. If Vance isn't the Republican nominee, who is for 2028? I mean, you don't want to go with the token, answer, but it'd probably be Tucker Carlson if he wanted to do it. But I mean, that's like the mainstream, like right wing guy that all of MAGA would get behind is Carlson if he wanted to do it. If it wasn't Vance for whatever reason. I mean, you'd also have a lot of the Israel lobby, a lot of the establishment start backing Rubio. That would be someone that would jump up, I'm sure. Not saying Schimmel will win, but you can't trust polls for special elections. No, I agree with you. I mean, but when they're all saying if they were like +3, +4, I'd be a lot more optimistic. If they're basically all saying +7. I mean, the Trafalgar poll was encouraging. You don't want to say for sure Schimmel's going to lose. There certainly is a chance. It's close enough. They've galvanized the base. They've had the rally. But I mean, people are pissed. They're saying Republicans didn't do enough. They're saying they waited till the last second. This is a common problem. But also it's an issue to where there's just not a culture within the Republican Party of like being obsessed with politics. And you get a lot of this hyper Trump support, but it just doesn't translate. But I mean, also Wisconsin is like really down the middle. It's 50-50. So you get into a special election like this where Democrats normally have the advantage. So it's going to be very tough. If you had like a 4 or 5 point buffer in Wisconsin to where it's a little bit more conservative, it's more doable. But I mean, you don't want to doom about it. It's possible they could win. When are you coming out to Toronto, Canada? I mean, I've heard, Toronto, it is a pretty big city, but just one of those major lib cities. Yeah, replacing the Statue of Liberty with the Melania Trump statue. Well, I mean, France wants it back. You hear that? That was just one lower politician within France said they wanted the Statue of Liberty back. Would I invest in military stocks? No, I mean military stock. That's like the ultimate doom. Invest in military stocks and hope for there to be military conflicts. I mean, come on. Wisconsin is also a left-leaning state. I mean locally, yeah, but I would still classify it as a swing, as a pretty much pure toss-up. Toronto, yeah, Toronto has really changed just in terms of the amount of immigration that's go there. That's where it really affects is the big cities with immigration. Unless, of course, you're Springfield, Ohio. And there were other cities that got dumped with Haitian. You know that's the thing they had. They had that Haitian Venezuelan initiative. Might have also included Nicaragua, the triple threat, the triple threat of countries. Oh man, we need to take these immigrants in. They come in temporary visas under Biden's program, and Trump is like deporting all of them, trying to deport all of them. It's like 500,000 of them. Atlas Polis Crawford 6.9. I know. Someone was telling me about it. Like a 7-point lead for Atlas for the liberal candidate. Do you think Trump was lying about the cats and dogs? Well, no. Well, here's the thing. Those type of immigrants, they do tend to eat cats. I'm not even lying. They do. I mean, there's been stories of swans being eaten, like neighborhood swans by immigrants. This is what they do. Now, obviously, Trump probably, I mean, Trump's like a boomer. I mean, this is, so he gets this information. One of his people says, I mean, look, they're doing this. And then so he says, well, they're eating, he comes out and says it. I mean, but obviously, they do that. I mean, there were reports of that happening with cats. With a few cats they were eating. And so, I mean, there's no assimilation. They're going to continue their, so that's what happens. I mean, it's obviously not good. You should put on SpaceX. Yeah, I mean, I'll put that on if you want me to. Are they live streaming it? I don't want to destroy anyone's ears. Sean, what's up? The whale. I appreciate it, man. What's up, man? This is the guys. This is the official launch to Mars. They're going to Mars with this launch. We're finally landing on Mars. No, I'm kidding. This is a research mission. People in the South eat random wildlife on the road and grass in southern. Yeah, I mean, but that's like roadkill. That's a bit different. We're here because parents made a sacrifice of money, personal time, more responsibility to raise us. Seems like our generation is too selfish for that. So, well, no, you're right, and it is a problem in terms of how easy things are for our generation. Like, what is going on here? But it is very easy for our generation, so it becomes an issue to where there's no sacrifice when you're in your 20s or your early 30s. It's like, especially for women, it's like me time, and I want to do work and all this stuff, and you don't want to raise any kids, but you're gonna regret it when you're older. I'll tell you that much. It's an investment. I mean, it's but I mean, you can also understand that the cost of things is crazy, and you do need a two income household. A lot of these families need it to support, so it's hard. You were correct that the NCAA tournament was chalk. Well, I don't even think I remember saying it. I never said it was chalk. Going to be chalk, but I mean, I had 3 1 seeds because it just by the factor of. I mean, honestly, I almost predicted the Final Four because Texas Tech blew their game like badly. Like, imagine if Texas Tech would have won. I would have had all 4 Final Four teams. Mars will be the 53rd state. That's a big state. Holy shit. What if we just claimed Mars? I mean, and forced other countries to recognize it? Yeah, we're claiming the territory in Mars, and then China lands on the other side of Mars and claims the territory. Do you think a new Russia-U.S. axis is a possibility? I don't see how it's possible based on the turnover in terms of the United States leadership. I mean, we go from liberal, conservative, liberal. Obviously, liberals hate Russia, so how are we going to go into a military agreement with Russia for more than like 5 years and then liberals get in office? All right, we'll come back to it when it's time to launch. I mean, but like this type of stuff is so. Was there a report today? Was there anything? My guess is no. My guess is this account just makes money off of this, and so they just tweeted it because it would get engagement. Source. Oh, the source would be the frickin' the Jeffrey Rath, I think, the lawyer in Alberta. If we land on Mars first, is it ours? We can claim it. I mean, the question is, do other countries recognize it as part of our territory? But I mean, we would be the only ones, along with like China, who would be landing there anyways. Conservatives hate Russia. Trump and MAGA don't hate Russia. I think you're kind of being. I mean, at this point, there's a blend between MAGA and conservatives. There can be a difference. There can be, but in general. Optimus robots. Yeah, that's Elon Musk's robot. Yeah, I was looking at meme coins on Optimus because I think it's gonna have to be a big story. I mean, they're gonna push that robot for sure. Musk is. I mean, Musk is obsessed with this type of stuff, so he's of course gonna have a robot. Source DG2. Invest in Housecoin. I think I saw something about Housecoin. I saw something on Twitter about it. Yeah, I saw Snow White's movie went really badly. I mean, I think everyone expected that. That's not surprising. You ever seen a black bear without fur? They look like demons. I've seen wet when they have very minimal fur, but I don't think I've ever seen it without fur. Animals without fur are very freaky. They are. Musk bot for $3,000. What is it? They're selling a bot for $3,000 or something? You think you would do a piece on the Ukrainian government's treatment? I don't know. I'd have to look into that, man. South Africa planning on expelling white population. Well, I mean, they're going to have no food then if they do that. I mean, Trump should offer those white people in South Africa refugee status. I think he already did. Yeah, they're going to be fucked. I mean, they're already fucked as it is, South Africa. Ukraine peace deal update. There's really no update, man. It's gonna take a little while, I think, for stuff to come out honestly about it. Yeah, this was the other thing. The ballot issue was very important. If golden retrievers could vote, do you think they'd be left or right wing? They would mainly be right wing. They'd mainly be like right wing 70-30, I think, with golden retrievers if I had to. You know, I could say something that would not be too nice, nah, but I think golden retrievers be 70-30 Republican. You're 38, and out of your very close friend group of 10, 6 of them hate Trump and Elon with a passion. Are they all dudes and they hate Trump and Elon? It's queer. If you're a dude and you hate Trump and Elon, yeah. I mean, I guess they go to college. Maybe it's through their job, stuff like that. I guess for dudes, but it's surprising. You think Ukraine mineral deal is a bad idea? Too close to Russia? EU wants it. It's too vulnerable if China moves on Taiwan. Focus on. Well, I'm not sure we would have to invest many forces into that minerals deal. Did you read the minerals deal? There were no security guarantees, assurances from the United States in that minerals deal. Now, I don't know what the updated one is going to be, but we got some pretty good access to like all of their natural resources, and there were no security assurances. So I'm not even sure the dynamic of it being a huge risk for us to have be in Ukraine, honestly. I mean, it would probably make Russia very mad, but there's already going to be an EU presence within Ukraine. There's probably going to be a DMZ with EU troops patrolling it, and also the UK because of Brexit. But you can't really say that they're a part of EU, but they're going to be there as well. So I'm not sure how risky it is. I understand what you're saying. I mean, but you have to understand with Taiwan, that's just going to be proxy anyways. I mean, we're not going to directly fight China if something happens to Taiwan. So it's not like we need to divert troops to a significant amount, I wouldn't think, to the Pacific states. Why do you call your 9/11 videos iceberg videos? It was just one video. It's just a video style. And I think it's a good video style, those icebergs. It's because it's very informative, and just the format of it is very nice. I just like those type of videos. But I only have done one video like that. It's not like all my videos are like that. It's just one. Liberal polling boost mainly from the Left Uniting and NDP Socialists voting Liberal in this election. NDP are now at 5%. At most, though, they should be 35%, 45%. Yeah, I heard they were all coming together, and it kind of makes sense for all those liberal parties in Canada to do that when there's a conservative party that's a real big threat to win an election. So they all migrate to a singular party to make sure it doesn't happen, make sure the conservative doesn't get the majority of the seats. I mean, we'll see what happens with that election, but I know it's like 65-35 right now, in terms of chances at least, but Ukraine isn't getting NATO membership. Why do they keep? Yeah, well, they're not even trying for NATO membership. They're trying to join the EU, and Zelensky was saying that, well, we're not going to be able to join the EU because the US is going to control all of our natural resources, and so they're not going to accept us because we're not going to have self-governance or some bullshit like that. They're obsessed now with joining the EU. They're not even trying to join NATO because the head of NATO came out and said it's not going to happen. They're not going to join. The head of NATO said Ukraine is not joining NATO for the foreseeable future. It's not going to be permitted. And that's the European head of NATO talking. It's not like the United States, Trump people. This is the first men's final where all one seed. No, 2008 it happened too. So this is the first time since 2008 where all of the Final Four is one seeds. Iceberg vid could have been 2 hours long. It could have been 3 or 4 hours long. I mean, there's so much 9/11 stuff. Cold War iceberg. That would be a long iceberg as well. A very, very long conflict with the USSR. Started neocon, the phrase neocon, that's why it was originally, that's where it got popularized. Anti-Soviet. There's always a superpower. It's the same thing with NATO. The reason NATO was created was because of the Soviets. How do you think Trump will get a third term? I don't think it's possible, man. There's too much agreement that's needed from, unless the only way would be liberals desperate to get Obama back in the mix. That would be it. I can't see another possible way. Every way they say cannot be done. Like a lot of the Republican people are talking about, unless you make Trump maybe the speaker and then he ascends past it. So it's like, I just don't think it can be done. I mean, there's probably something there like behind the scenes, like, oh, we're going to do something completely out of left field. But I don't even think it's worth it. Tampa Bay Rays Stadium iceberg. I mean, yeah, you go through all their fucking renderings. I have videos up on like all their renderings through the years. What an interesting stadium saga. And they're still dealing with it. It'll never end. I mean, dude, seriously, if you're Rob Manfred, how do you not just look at that situation and say, now visualize Nashville hosting opening day with a sold out crowd and, a younger energy in Nashville and just, a demand for baseball. How can you not just say, you need to sell this fucking team? It has been far too long. You played in a shit stadium and now you're playing at this minor league, this bullshit spring training facility. For 3 years you're going to play here because you don't want to fix your roof for like $50 million. I mean, come on. Dancing Israelis, so interesting, kind of scary. Yeah, it's interesting because, before I did 9/11 research, I thought that Dancing Israeli was kind of bullshit or like it was like this fringe theory. And I was shocked when I looked it up and just like, wow, it's even worse than I thought. Titanic iceberg. Yeah, that would be a good one. It would fit. Plus, I have so much just raw knowledge of the Titanic, and I could already think of like 30 or 40 topics on that. Or I maybe the thing with Titanic is I have to get into like the actual. When I was younger, I used to like really care about the Titanic for like a month, and then I wouldn't care about it, and then it'd be like phases. Now I've kind of lost it a little bit, but I could get back into it if I wanted to. Would Trump's territorial proposals have better reactions from Greenland if it was the 1990s? Well, I think there would be better reactions if it was anyone but Trump saying it. There's just such a massive hatred of Trump in the EU, such a massive hatred. So that's the real issue. I mean, you know, I guess the further away we get from the age of imperialism, the worse it is, because now everyone's like, well, you cannot do that. Wait, you cannot acquire more land. We're past that point. So that's another issue in comparison to the 90s. Like, we're 30 years later. It's like the further away we get from it, like the more people get triggered about like territorial acquisitions, I guess. The Polo Grounds, or were they thinking, well, it was an NFL stadium? But it was cool, man, the Polo Grounds. I'd like to see a replica, but it would never happen. Tampa Bay playing at George Steinbrenner Stadium looked good for them. Yeah, but not really, man. It's to me the like when you have major league teams playing at a stadium that has a capacity of 10K, I think it's a bad product. It's just a bad product. It doesn't look like a big game. It doesn't look important. You know, it's like when the Blue Jays had to play at the Buffalo AAA Stadium. Remember that? Because of COVID. You had a student who was obsessed with Titanic. He was 8. That's pretty young. I mean, when I was younger, I was interested in the Titanic, but maybe when I was like 12 or 13. Cory Booker. Oh yeah, somebody told me to search up Cory Booker. You know, remember when Cory Booker ran for president? He's trying to like get his name back in the news a little bit. Oh, here he goes. Let's see.
Where I'm about to go to the Senate floor where I intend to be recognized, and when I am not going to stop speaking. I'm going to not stop standing. I'm going to go for as long as I'm physically able to go. I've been hearing from people all over my state and indeed all over the nation calling upon folks in Congress to do more, to do things that recognize the urgency, the crisis of the moment. And so we all have a responsibility, I believe, to do something different, to cause, as John Lewis said, good trouble, and that includes me. I'm about to go to the Senate floor.
It's just all performative. It really is. It's all performative BS.
We do have a crowd building up here in front of...
Oh man, they have thunderstorms there. Wow. Look at that. You know, there are a lot of thunderstorms happening around the country recently. There's been a lot of thunderstorms. It looks fake with all the thunder. Or the lightning, I guess. He's doing that right now, and he's been going for a couple hours. It's all performative. It's all, you know, you don't give it, don't pay no mind to that. Show the Trump Tiger Woods clip. Was Tiger Woods at the White House? Or were they golfing together? Sometimes they golf together. Fake lightning. It does look like fake lightning, honestly, because this is too perfect. There's been a lot of lightning, man. There's been a lot of thunderstorms, I'll be honest. Pretty sure the US will have to withdraw from Space Treaty to claim Mars. Yeah, well, you know how that goes. I mean, obviously they put something like that in place when nobody can go to any other planets, so it becomes void at a certain point. Dems still think it's 2017 with the performative shit and protest doesn't work. Yeah, it's just irrelevant, honestly. It's and there it goes. Looks like a nuclear bomb. Hopefully there's no problems with it. Let's pray to God the markets turn around in April. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough with these tariffs. We'll see, man. Enjoy the era of chemical rockets because one day we need to leave these behind. Well, it's evolution. Imagine the Nazi party returns in Germany. Liberals would go crazy. Well, I mean, they basically call everything Nazi, so it's like it would be it would almost be fitting. Then they would actually get to have it. But no, I mean they basically, you know, they call Trump a Nazi, they call him Hitler. It's well, this looks like a successful launch. Democrats are like, damn, I wanted it to explode. The rocket is going to land perfectly in my backyard. I didn't know they were carrying any crew. Are they carrying crew? You saw it from your front door in Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah, they launched them from Florida, I think. Did you see the European rocket explode? No, I didn't see that. I saw they finally launched one in Europe. It was like the first one they ever launched. No, there's no crew on it. BLM square one plus NFL getting rid of racist text on the field enormously. Yeah, I mean that's crazy that there was ever that in the NFL. Like it's such performance art to have that type of stuff. I don't know how that type of stuff gets okayed. Like a pro sport, it's crazy. It's like an insult to the view, you know, fans' intelligence. 6-year, $170 million extension. Who got that? You just said there was a 6-year, $170 million extension. Who got it? Why are they showing people if there's no crew? I don't know. I mean, somebody said there was no crew. I thought there was because they were showing people. Apparently, it's on a mission to orbit past poles instead of taking its typical path around the equator. They're going into polar orbit. Did you hear France banned Le Pen, the conservative candidate? Yeah, I talked about it earlier. You know, I compared it to the United States, and just if the United States was more liberal, Trump would have went to jail. Like it just comes down to how liberal your country is. They're able to do this to. This is what they always do. If they're liberal enough, and there's this right wing candidate, and she was up by 17 points. I mean, the election's not until 2027, but if they're liberal enough, they'll be able to ban the conservative candidates or disparage them to the point. Dumb question, but do crews on any modern SpaceX rockets have any control over the rocket? Or are they just passengers? It looks like they're just passengers. But they're obviously, if something happens inside, they're going to have some control over some aspects of it, I would imagine. (2025) finals prediction. I go Cavs against I don't know who comes out of the West. I mean, I don't want to say Thunder because it would be 1v1. Who even are the other teams outside of like the Cavs against Lakers? No. I don't think the Lakers are gonna make it with Luka. Can you imagine how horrible things would be if Harris had won? Yeah, no, I know. It would be very bad, obviously. I mean, the amount of illegals in the country. I mean, the war with Russia, Ukraine certainly wouldn't be ending. It looks like they are coming down, or so, I don't know, landing burn. Thoughts on new MLB bats? Yeah, people just overreact to that stuff, I think, man. I mean, you know how it is. It's like there were some home runs that got hit by the Yankees, so it's like, oh, the bats. I don't know, man. They're probably going to keep the bats. They want there to be more home runs because pitching is just destroyed hitting recently in MLB. Am I ready to attack Iran? It's not. No, I think there'll be a nuclear deal. Do you have Duke winning March Madness? No, I don't. I have Houston winning. But Houston's an underdog, I understand. They're actively trying to destroy pitching and defense. They enlarged the bases. Yeah, you see they enlarged the bases and now there's like 80 steals. It's such a gimmick. What's the purpose, man? Now Otani's going to have like 50 steals. Come on. So stupid. Because of the enlarged bases. They should not have done that. They said they did it for safety, enlarging the bases. But now you've got like Ellie De La Cruz with like 90 steals. Like, this is a gimmick. It's a joke. But I mean, I understand the offense needs to improve. But dude, think about it. Think about what's happened to even the NFL as well. But like, the NBA is so far gone. There's way too much offense. It's ruined the entire game. Like, it seriously has ruined it. There's just way too much scoring. So the NBA from when I was younger has been ruined. And, you know, obviously, when you get older, you don't watch sports, but it seriously has been ruined. The MLB, or I guess MLB, but MLB has been ruined. Because now all hitters do is try and hit home runs, so they strike out or hit a home run. These hitters are hitting like 210. The teams are averaging like hitting 220. When's DG coin launching? It'll launch in the year 2050, man. A's first game in Sacramento. Yeah, I heard about that. It's another budget stadium, but I mean, at least they're hopefully building their new stadium soon. It's another bad situation for MLB. Doesn't surprise me. There's always going to be a bad situation for the A's. I mean, they should have already had a new stadium like 10 years ago. Man, look at those monitor setups. Holy shit. Thoughts on Will Campbell, the tackle from, I think, LSU. He's a good tackle. I mean, tackles are always needed. Left tackles are needed, so he'll go top 10, I'm sure. And they cut it. They cut it off. You will agree they should have an extended base at first. Yeah, but then it becomes like softball. I don't know about that. I think that would. They probably. I don't think the players wanted that. You know the players. They don't want that type of shit. Top 5 military uniforms. So the Soviet Union. People love to talk about whites doing racism. Meanwhile, you have Arabs who are brazenly racist. Oh, it's always a double standard, especially because we're if you're in the United States, if you're in Canada, you know, it's a majority white country. So yeah, they can be. Remember, they changed the definition of racist. They said, well, because minorities don't have the power to change anything, they can be racist, and it's not actual racism. Okay. But at this point, I mean, the racism itself has such little power. The window is shifting on that anyways, because people are just done with it. They're tired of it. They're tired of this double speak, this double standard. And they admitted it was a double standard by saying, no, it's not racist, because if you don't have the power, you can't be racist. Moneyball was full of crap. And Moneyball was a good movie. Let's be honest about it, though. Come on, Moneyball's a good movie. You know, that's another good movie. They're not going to make a sports movie like that again. That's not going to happen. Moneyball is a good movie, but I mean, yeah, the idea, I mean, that's the problem with MLB. It's like the little engine that could. Well, that's because owners don't want to spend, and so you've got the fucking Dodgers going up against the Rays, and it's the payroll difference of like $300 billion or $200 billion is a joke. That's why Moneyball exists. But now the smart teams use Moneyball as well, or whatever. All the analytics and shit. Kai Trump versus Tiger Woods, who wins? What kind of terminally online brain rot question is that? Kai Trump versus Tiger Woods, who wins? Bro, come on. Dog. I think Tiger would probably win. Do any game... I never really played Assassin's Creed, honestly, man. I never played that. It's all about white people are evil, white people are bad. Yeah, and people are done with it. They're just sick of it. It doesn't work anymore. Even the liberals are starting to have to get rid of the DEI and all that stuff. And I mean, if you ask Tim Waltz, then no, but Yeah, it's Cooper Flag, generational talent. I don't know if he's generational. I mean, he'll be a good player. You know, he's like a 24-8 type player. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's a. Maybe he ends up being an MVP, but are SpaceX chicks DEI? Are they based legit? I mean, with Musk, I think they're legit to a degree. Although I don't know, Musk loves the H-1B stuff, so who knows? Although I guess H-1B would be kind of the opposite. It's just taking advantage of cheap labor. Are they launched? It already happened. Will we ever see another game on Field of Dreams, or did they build that stadium to not use it? Well, I mean, it's not really. There's not much to it, but I think there's gonna, because it was such a huge hit. Don't they do every game every year there? The Field of Dreams in Iowa. Yeah, they built like an entire complex. I remember seeing it in renderings because I remember seeing that. It's like they built a bunch of kiddie fields too and stuff, but like the Major League field, yeah, they should have. I mean, you don't want to turn it into a gimmick, but I would have 2 series there every year. One in June, one in July. Because it's such an amazing location, and I'm sure it does very well for MLB. So I would do 2 series every year, 2 MLB series, 3 game series. The whole China blocked sale Panama thing makes no sense. Why would they have allowed it anyways? You don't get it. Well, they didn't allow it. They said that Hong Kong went and didn't ask Beijing if they could sell it, and they're saying Hong Kong was not authorized to sell it. The ports are owned by Hong Kong. Yeah, GTA 6 is going to come out this year, guys. It is, because they said that they're waiting till closer to launch to release trailer 2. So GTA 6 will be like before like October probably is when it's going to come out. I think trailer 2 is going to come out sometime in April. Maybe mid-April. You see a big change coming with the next generation. Your kids are in high school, and my goodness, there's some conservative little shitheads. That's a breath of fresh air for young people, in high school to be conservative. Yeah, the environment. I mean, when I was in, I don't know how it's changed. I probably hasn't changed very much, but politics was not big at all in high school. I mean, there was some of it with a few of us, but it was not very big. Well, I guess it ended. I don't know. Trump says he's open to cutting tariffs on China in exchange for a TikTok deal. This seems like, come on with this. He's trying to help out Oracle. Damn it. Many Indians here are pissed with DEI programs because they favor people with less intelligence. Well, no, that's the whole point that Ramaswamy was making. He's because they have a lottery system, and and the lottery system does not make sense. I mean, that is just merit based. I mean, that's just a Republican viewpoint to make it merit based. UFL stadium ranking. Well, don't they have the Rangers Stadium? Remember the old Rangers Stadium? Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. I think it's a UFL stadium, isn't it? Your high school civics teacher went on about how Biden was perfectly fine mental health condition. She posts on X all day and has an overly educated cat lady in her butt. Yeah, that's a typical prototype. Yeah, you get some of those in high school with the teachers. You do. Isn't Doge dividend coin pumping yet? Did any coins go to the moon? Not for me. No, I didn't get any coins. Doge dividend hasn't pumped or anything like that. I mean, Finecoin back on here. Fuck Boys Season. That's a pleasant name. Yeah, I mean, Greenland coin went up a little bit. The Doge dividend coin, didn't do really anything. Let's see if there's anything. Yeah, there's a bunch of these coins that kind of had rebounds after getting just shit on. I think people are missing the point about visas. PhDs in STEM are a dime a dozen. It's not exceptional at all anymore. Elon speaks on this. PhDs are commodity. Well, I think the problem is there are U.S. citizens that can do. I mean, the problem is they made it seem like it was like the top 1% were just taking the ultra elite, when in reality they were filling positions that could have been filled by American citizens because it's cheaper and it's more cost efficient, and they're going to work harder because they're fighting for a green card. Yeah, a lot of people like Kai Trump, I guess. I don't know. When it's the darkest time in crypto is when. Yeah, I know. I'm looking to see what happens with these tariffs, and it might be time to. But I mean, you have to make sure there's actually going to be another bull run here, because people are saying, well, it's the bear market now and stuff, and I guess that might be even more bullish because it's not going to be easy. They're not just going to there's going to be people that say it's going to be bear. Will you do another MLB stadium ranking video? I mean, I thought about it, man. It might be something worth doing, honestly. But to me, it's like, I mean, it might be something worth doing. I do one every year, and obviously with my political stuff, it's kind of not necessary. But I mean, obviously, I still would be able to get good views on it. I'm sure those videos get very good views. 30-minute video, format it properly. There's some new stadiums now, although they'd be at the bottom of the list, but. More 9/11 videos. Yeah, I know. I've just been dealing with. I mean, I've been trying to make this 9/11 video, but I was just so tired all today. I could barely even film the videos that I did. But tomorrow I got to do videos on, like, hopefully there'll be news and stuff, but I'll try and get some good views tomorrow. Will Ashley St. Clair launch a coin? Imagine she did like a quick rug pull, 500K. She's like, "This is for my child, you bitch." She's like, I'm announcing I'm launching my meme coin. The proceeds will go to my son. Fuck Elon, fuck Tesla. I'm liberal now. Do you know anyone who got wrecked in the 2017? Well, I think it was the 2018 crypto crash is what it would be. Because 2017, we were entering an alt season at the end of 2017. Bitcoin had hit like 19,000. If crypto is gambling, gambling never goes away, and a lot of crypto is kind of gambling. I think it's safe that there will always be a bull run. Yeah, I know there's going to be another bull run, but I don't want it to be in 3 years. You want it to happen at the end of this year. Don Jr. made a mistake of revealing Kai at the RNC. Well, it is kind of weird that Kai has spoke more than Barron. I mean, I guess it just comes down to personality. Greatest multi-purpose stadium ever. I think probably Busch Stadium too, because they changed the stadium into like a baseball stadium and made renovations to it. Don Jr. new girlfriend thoughts? I don't really care. It's 9/11. Yeah, you're central then, bro. Because it's 10/12 for me right now. H-1B visas better than immigrants that drain billions on welfare. Did you see what Jasmine Crockett said? So it's just funny how the Democrats like give these people these talking points, and I forget what the exact number was, but she's like, they pay like, what was it, 57 million or 50 something, about like in terms of like social security tax or some bullshit, talking about illegal immigrants, and then you look up the actual numbers, the amount that they owe in terms of the welfare that they take, it's out of control. And also, you want to talk about housing crisis with all the immigrants here, that's going to contribute to that. It's just, there's such a net negative for a society. The idea that these people would still try and argue after all of this, like, oh, they're paying this amount in taxes. Why don't you look at the full picture of it? They're a super net negative, not just in terms of the culture of society, not just in terms of housing, but also in terms of welfare and everything that we have to subsidize them to even be here, even with them working. So did the Republicans lose in Wisconsin but win big in Florida? Well, they were always going to win in Florida. I mean, they'll definitely jazz it up like it's good victories, but Florida's a Republican state. Those 2 elections in Florida, they're going to win very easily. I think they're probably going to lose in Wisconsin. I mean, everyone needs to go vote, obviously. We'll see. But you can only you base it off of all of these polls, and the sentiment is not good, and Poly Market does not look good. But it's a special election thing, so it's more unpredictable. What are some of your top cryptos you're excited for? I've been thinking about getting in a few different ones, like the Mars coin, although I don't know if the Mars coin is going to run this cycle. There's a few like variants of Pepe that I'm looking at as well. Dude, like all the Pepe coins. There's the original Pepe coin that's at 3 billion. Then, well, it's actually not the original. There was the newer Pepe, the main one is at 3 billion. Then there was one that was made in 2016 and it went to like 800 million. It's back down. Then there was a based Pepe that went to 100 million. Then there's like all these other variants and stuff. So I might get into some variants of like 4chan coins. All the libs voting liberal in Canada are in 50s and up. Meanwhile, middle-aged and youngsters like me want conservatives, but all the boomers. I know, I saw that. I didn't tweet it out, but I saw the crazy graph of just, it's like every age group outside of boomers is conservative majority, at least when it comes to this election in Canada. That's remarkable. But boomers are very liberal in Canada. That's crazy. Will the Trump family launch a new crypto? Hopefully not. But the market would have to be an amazing place, and they would look to do it. But I don't think they're gonna do it. They've got that Liberty Financial coin that's in a pre-sale right now. So I don't, we'll see what happens with that. But they've got like their own coin on Ethereum, and now they've got their own stable coin for it. And I don't know when that's gonna launch, but April Fool's coin. And well, those I'm sure those coins already got front run to hell. I'm sure. Like, watch this. And this coin. I mean, this is, look at this. Here's your April Fool's. The fucking coin literally had a high in February. It got. I mean, this is how bad it is with this stuff. Like, no, this coin is. I mean, 18K. It's just not going to do anything tomorrow. Wait, what coins? I think I have a watch list that's news. Look at this. The Fort Knox coin. I mean, this is a pretty good chart, honestly. It is a good chart. There's not a lot of price action, but it's holding up around 100K. You just hope there's news, and then it shoots up to like 600 or 700K, and you can get out. Grok 4. These people are so annoying. They have to front run this coin. It's a waste. They're literally going to hold it for 5 months. It's a trade, guys. Come on. I want to get an entry on that coin like at 70 or 80K. I don't think it's going to happen. The 9/11 coin. I don't know. I'm not too we'll see if anything comes out in terms of those documents on 9/11. I know they talked about possibly releasing them. World War III. 100K market cap. I mean, I really would not want to buy this coin to root for World War III to happen. It's just not. Well, this coin reached like 5 million, huh? The Epstein coin. I mean, it's decent. It's accumulating. We'll have to see. There's gonna have to. I mean, what I'm waiting for the Epstein coin is just. It's gonna be news. Give me up to 600, I'll get out. Seriously, I will. If you get me up to 600, I'll get out. I can't keep doing it with this Epstein coin. I've been in it for too long at this point. They just won't release anything new on it. Am I excited for Liberation Day? Yeah, I'm excited for some actual news. I am. Invest in Bitcoin long term. I mean, that's all, you tell people to do that in 2015, 2016, I'll agree. But Bitcoin at this point, look, I believe in Bitcoin. I think it's going to be a very valuable asset, $10, $20 trillion market cap, absolutely. But for me, it doesn't make sense. Mike Johnson coin. Yeah, remember that. Do you want Carney to win so that the Alberta referendum could be initiated? Yeah, I mean, I just want Carney to win because I want there to be a narrative surrounding Alberta seceding. And there really wouldn't be a narrative if the Conservative wins. Yeah, dude, I was in the Liberation Day coin. I got out of it. Imagine it went up. I made like $100 off of it. I'm like, I'm getting out of this shit. There's no way. Oh, damn, I think it went up. Wait, did it? God damn it. I mean, this coin's going to drop at any point. If you're in this coin, I would seriously advise selling it. Once it happens, it's going to be front run. There's going to be people dumping. When did I sell this? I don't even remember when I sold this at. I don't remember. But I mean, it's only at 144K. Do you think crypto will get dumped on more? I mean, yeah, it's probably going to be pretty negative price action. Who knows, though? You can't really predict it. This is that house coin. Man, what in the hell is this? 3K to 6 million? Who knows, man? You get lucky sometimes. Nobody invests. No, but that's inside. Caitlin Clark has become a draw because she's white. Oh. Is more race baiting from ESPN. $144K. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I don't think that coin's gonna do shit. That coin is based off of a single day. Once it comes, it's gonna be front ran anyways. We know this. Coin's gonna go to nothing probably tomorrow. Leading report. Yeah, I saw it. I mean, leading report always says stuff like that. These people are gonna bitch about this. What liberal news site is this from? This is Atlas, bro. Another likely loss for Republicans. Atlas isn't great outside of presidential elections, oddly enough. Wonder why Trafalgar has it close. Seriously doubt it's accurate. That's not good. Looks like the race is tightening up. Yeah, this is all cope. I mean, look, but who knows? I agree. I think these elections it's harder to pull. So thoughts on when the bull run? Well, I think we have to wait a few months if we're going to get it this year. We're going to get a better environment. Like this is probably going to be the bottom. I'm not kidding. If we do have a bull run, I think we'd start seeing more positive action in the summer. And then leading into the fall, and then we have the bull run, and it's like a solid 6 months. Like if we start the bull, the bull run will probably be 2 months, but we need to have a better environment leading into it. Like I want my coins to be up before the bull run even starts. Ideally, because then we could actually make some serious money rather than just have like a quick 20x. I want like a 300x. I need like a 300x in my portfolio. I need like a fucking miracle. When is Ian Carroll gonna run for president? Yeah, he's obsessed with Israel. I don't know, man. He's gonna run for fucking president of Israel. You listen to Dave Ramsey's Boomer Advice? No, I don't watch his show. I used to watch the clips, when he'd have those clips and there'd be like a fucking video, like a TikTok video or something underneath it because people's attention spans, but then it'd be him giving advice. Yeah, I mean, I really don't watch his show much. I mean, sometimes I'll see clips of it and things on YouTube when it gets recommended. Nineteenth Amendment, yeah, but that's never gonna happen. You understand? The 19th Amendment is not. How is that? How can it get changed? Because fucking half of the politicians now are women, anyways. But I mean, imagine how many conservatives we would have. Conservative, there'd be two parties: conservative and then just the center right. That's the parties in the United States. There was no 19th. Thoughts on Laura Loomer? She keeps getting in these cat fights with women. She's like obsessed with trying to take down other MAGA women within the movement. She got mad because she wasn't given like press credentials or something. So she's feisty. I mean, it's fun to watch. What about 3 alts Trump mentioned? Yeah, he mentioned the boomer alts. I mean, dude, all Trump did was like mention the highest market cap alts, and then they had to make a statement saying, "No, guys, this is not the actual reserve we're putting together. It's just Trump mentioned the 5 biggest market cap alts." But I do think that XRP would be part of it for sure. Probably Solana, ADA probably as well. It's just going to be the high market cap alts. Is Steve Bannon legit running? Yeah, he'll probably run. He wants to get on the debate stage. How is good financial advice considered boomer? Would you like Dave Ramsey if he suggested you buy Chipotle burritos using a buy now, pay later? Well, he's really anti-crypto, and when you're younger, you take more risks, so it doesn't really align. I mean, but it's based off of principle. I understand different people are going to have different strategies, but I don't watch him enough to really comment too much about his strategies in terms of finance. Cover Islam in Texas. Yeah, I've been hearing about that. It's like taking over cities in Texas. Is that like communities? They want to have full Islamic communities in Texas. That's what I heard. You take risks on growth stocks. So you buy penny stocks. You buy penny stocks. I mean, that's a similar thing to meme coins. You say they're growth stocks. You say they have potential. Yeah, I hear that a lot with people in crypto. They say coins have utility and stuff. It's the same ball game. No, I'm kidding. Will Bannon get a haircut before the debates? No, he's rocking the Rosie O'Donnell. He'll be rocking the Rosie O'Donnell during the debates. Is it time to buy Vine now? It's up like 40%, brother. You're buying a green candle. What are you doing? Vine's already at Vine's at a high market cap anyways. You took chances with crypto. It's been good, but I've also gotten burned too much. Yeah, you'll get burned bad in crypto. You have to just stay in it and hope. You get burned really badly. Would love to see a video on to raise awareness. I mean, I don't know if I do video. I don't know if I would do a video on it because just my content really isn't tailored to that. But I guess I could do a video on anything. It does relate to stuff. I mean, I did hear about that, to be fair, even, you mentioned it. I mean, didn't they pass a law banning Sharia law or something in Texas? Or was that nationwide? No, I think it was Texas. Vine is at 40 million market cap. It could hit $1 billion. X will release Vine sooner or later. Yeah, no, I think it could hit $1 billion. I agree with you. So what is that, like a 23x, 24x from 40 million? See, the thing is I know math. What I do is I'll take 40 million. I'll say, okay, just put it up to 50 million. And then, 50 million to $1 billion, that's a 20x. And then you add a little bit because it's 40 million. So it's like a 24x. I mean, this is, you see, the thing is with math, able to do this. Penny stocks actually have things. Yeah, I remember penny stocks from the Wolf of Wall Street, man. Come on. Look at Europe. Well, yeah, we know Europe has gone full crazy with that. And the people there, that are Islamic, they say we're trying to change it, and so they allow them to be there. Like they openly admit we're trying to convert people. Lots of flooding in Ohio. Yeah, I'm sure there is. There was some really bad storms in southern Ohio. Have you ever watched the movie The Accountant? Yeah, I've seen it. It's a while ago. I heard there was The Accountant 2 was coming out. They were talking about what's wrong with movies. And somebody laid it out perfectly, like the issue with movies. Number one, there's no good movies. They're not making them. I think movies are going to have a comeback, though. I mean, to me, this is like rock bottom. Like, if movies were a stock, it would be that this is the year of 2025. This is my prediction. It's the ultimate bottom. There's going to be a resurgence. There's going to be like, they're going to be like, all right, we got to come back with movies. There's got to be good movies. These movies are just horrible. I mean, they've gotten worse and worse and worse, and now there's just nothing. But I think they're going to make a comeback. The problem is streaming. Streaming just ruins it, so there's just no movie culture in the country. Muslims simply have to respect the customs. Yeah, but when there's a lot of when a ton of them immigrate into these countries, they change the culture by sheer numbers. So it becomes a problem to where even if they respect it, there's gonna be so many of them, and that's what those European countries are dealing with. Yeah, My Son Hunter. Yeah, that was a blockbuster movie. Remember that? Remember My Son Hunter? You're a Biden. Act like it. Remember the dude that played Joe Biden was fat. The dude Hunter Biden is a movie star. He is a superstar. Dude, you bought Uranium Energy Corporation. Dude, what are you buying? See, this is the thing. This is a good example. You can't buy coins. You can't buy stocks like this. They have no utility. See, I invest when I buy meme coins. These coins, they have value. They have true value. They're based on news. They have great communities. When you buy something like Uranium Energy Corporation, you're investing into air. And so you have to do things with your money that are honorable. And when you buy, you do what I do. I mean, I buy things that have these is value and utility, and these are important. These are important assets to have. But when you're buying Uranium Energy Corporation from someone's basement, I mean, like, what are we talking about here? Avatar 3, those movies are all AI, dude. They made all those movies AI now. Think about it. They were already AI, now they're even more AI. I never got into Avatar. They said it was like the God movie, but I never got into it. I like good movies, I do, but Avatar was just, I don't know why I never watched it. bro, I was trolling you. Come on, I was trolling you. Snow White budget was around 250 million, and it only made 90 million. Yeah, and that doesn't even count their what they spent on advertisements, which can be like times two. They might have spent like 400. They probably spent like 350 million total on that movie, and they've only made 90 million. That's a huge loss. And it's deserved. It's deserved when you alienate that many people with your politics because you can't shut up. Dude, but Rachel Zegler she was acting like a real bitch. She said she hoped there was going to be severe pain to Trump supporters. I mean, what do you think's going to happen to your movie? And I imagine her agent told her that. Fartcoin has maximum utility. I mean, Fartcoin is worth hundreds of millions if you look at the market cap. When's Elon Musk's movie coming out? Well, they wouldn't do a movie on him. They hate Elon now. Or they'd make him to be this horrible person, I'm sure. You hope TikTok is banned forever. You really hate TikTok. Trump shouldn't focus on saving it. You know what? It is interesting that Trump is saving it. Think about it. They say Trump is owned by Israel. Well, why would he save TikTok? TikTok is anti-Israel. They have a bunch of young kids that hate Israel. So, but then they try and say, well, they're changing it and they're making it to where they ban all the people that hate on Israel. Yeah, but they're not doing that. That's actually a good point. That's a good point. How is Trump obsessed in bed with Israel if Trump is saving TikTok, which Israel wanted banned? So see, you can think about this now, and it's a question. Remember that horrible appearance Elon had on SNL? I think he's had a few appearances. Yeah, Elon's not gonna. Yeah, Elon doesn't do well with that type of stuff. I was trying to listen to Elon speak with that Wisconsin rally, and it was like, you know, the one dude was trying to explain the amount of illegals that had Social Security numbers. And it was tough. I showed speed. China loves him so much. Yeah, China is very good with propaganda. They know he's a young kid, and they can manipulate the audience of his audience. It's very good what they do for them. But it is manipulation. They say, oh, it's cope. Well, yeah, I mean, China, they have a culture there, and if we had the same culture, we'd be called racist, but... Yesterday it snowed, and I was on your way back. You were on your way back to college at Iowa State. You were halfway on the interstate, and a guy went around you and spun out on the ice and crashed into a bridge barrier. And when there's crashes, that can be traumatic when there's crashes near you, especially. Yeah. I spun out once in a road and just wrecked my tire once. My tire was just like twisted out. It was like $1,000 or maybe more. Thoughts on Patrick Bet David? PBD still upset at Pierre for not going on his podcast. Yeah, Bet David he's really got an ego, doesn't he? He's really got some type of ego. Why would Paul Vier go on there? What does it matter? I mean, it's a Canadian election. Bet David got stood up by Paul Vier, and so he's pissed off. And he got really salty about it, and he started raging during his show. But I mean, he's part of conservative media now, and he's trying to have this whole thing with his business or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's, you know, these conservative people. It's all very odd to me. You think other countries will remove their tariffs like Vietnam did? I think the smaller countries will. The EU is going to fight it, though. The EU will for sure fight it. So they're going to be a battle with the EU. The EU is going to put more... I mean, I say more because it is more, because they already have tariffs on us. So we're going to put tariffs to balance it. Then they're going to put more on us and then say it's reciprocal back. But it's not. It's the same thing that Canada did. So, I mean, I think the EU is going to be the big one that fights it. But the smaller countries... There's like 15 total countries. I think most of them are in the EU, though. Where the reciprocals are going. Thoughts on Aiden Ross staying on Kick? Oh, is he staying on there? He got unbanned on Twitch. Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, I'm not even sure. Aiden Ross doesn't even... I guess he does have Andrew Tate on, so that's why they'd ban him. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like, you know, he's just a typical streamer. I don't know. Yeah, that's very odd. I saw his banner. Well, isn't it like a painting? Yeah, it's very odd. I mean, you know, like, when you look at something like this... what? This is like, come on, man. All right. What if Joe Rogan was in here? What if Joe Rogan was in here, man? Oh, I mean, you look at something like this, it's like, what? Thoughts on the N-word girl last summer who got canceled? The Hawk Tuah girl? Yeah, she's done. She is no more. She had her coin, and that's, I guess she's done with being an influencer. You'd think she would honestly come back, because those things tend to go away. I saw what happened to her. She said she's not going to face any charges. Iran wrote its response to Trump's bombing threat using ChatGPT. Yeah, there's going to be so much of this shit now. When is the Supreme Court election? It's for the United States, Wisconsin. It's tomorrow, man. Yeah, they do have Atlas Intel as an A+. I mean, you got to respect Atlas. You do. There's $1 million. I mean, not much money bet on this. Seems like it will be Crawford +4 based on early voting. He's talking about the other girl that said all my friends are married. Oh, yeah. I don't know what happened to her. You know, they get canceled for a week and then people forget. PBD gotta have some ego. I mean, it's just like, why would you even want a photo like a picture like that, and then to have that as like, it's there's just an ego trip about that type of thing with PBD there. I don't know, man. And then they've got. I mean, they do have a big podcast. They've got a big podcast. You see it. It's got like 30,000, 40,000 live viewers. I think is what they get. How big of an impact do you think Scott Pressler has on elections? I mean, it's hard to measure. It's very hard to measure that. You know, people say, well, he won Trump, Pennsylvania. I mean, you know, I think he certainly helped, but it's hard to really measure the impact any single individual has on, you know, the elections. Did you see that Illinois was voting on a new state flag, but the old one won because the other options were so bad? Yeah, I saw. I wonder if they have it on here. I don't know if they have. I don't know if they have the options on here, but. You watch Babylon Bee? No, I don't. Does Babylon Bee has a show? Yeah, this looks like some Middle East thing. Yeah, this is a decent one. This upper right is decent. This is a good one. North Korea. I liked this one. I thought this was a good one. This one right here. They say it's ugly and boring. But yeah, this was the one that I liked. I don't really love the white backdrop on flags though. Did you see that Pete Hegseth flew to Japan to meet with their leaders and gave a speech? I didn't see that. I know he was in Hawaii recently, and yeah, it's just typical. Just you know, you got to have good relations with your allies and stuff. Although I guess with the tariffs and stuff, I don't know. Have you seen the corner YouTube short where he talks about his kid having to read 3 whole books before he can get Mega Bloks Dragon playset? Yeah, I mean, I understand. It's with kids, you do have to be on them about the screen time and everything like that. And I think if you know, we really need to look into creating a culture in the United States where the kids are significantly limited when it comes to screen time. Now, look, I think we have to. I'd like to see the studies on it and everything like that. But if you look at what China does and some of these other countries, the problem is with our culture, like with young kids, if you, as a parent, if you don't give them a phone at a certain age or something, you're seen as like the mean parent, or like the nerd parent, or the mean parent, because all their other friends have phones. But if we create a culture where no one gets phones, or I mean, if it negatively impacts young kids' development, it's something that needs to be looked into, and it's a cultural shift. It should be frowned upon to do it because it hurts young kids' developing brains. But I mean, I don't know if that's actually true. Maybe it is just fear mongering. You'd have to look at some studies and things like that and come to a decision. But Asmongold, he's pro-Ukraine. Yeah, I think he bought into the Ukraine propaganda. I don't know. I never hear his take on Ukraine. People tell me he's pro-Ukraine. They're angry about it in chat. What do you think of people talking about Pete Hegseth, especially the one that said disbeliever? Oh, you're talking about the tattoos he has, maybe? Yeah, Pete Hegseth is extremely pro-Israel. Vivek was not that wrong. Yeah, he kind of was wrong. I mean, he wanted to change our entire culture on how we raise kids. I disagree with that, but I think it is important with technology, understanding the pros and cons of it when it comes to young people, and properly, is a little bit different with him. Yeah, Mark Kelly, the Tahoe, it's all performative, man. It's a joke. Does have a Crusader tattoo. Yeah, he's also had another tattoo that's like anti-Islam. He's pro-Ukraine. He said Vance was in the wrong for yelling at Zelensky. Yeah, that's not a good take. That was a good takedown by Vance, if anything, and it was, I mean, Zelensky was acting like an ass. He clearly wanted some type of protection from the United States. They weren't going to give it to him, so he acted like an asshole in the White House, and they called him out on it. It is what it is. You know the Ohio flag? You know the shape of it? I love the Ohio flag, man. It's just such a unique shape. Some people don't like that, but it's nice. And it's not like to the level of Nepal to where it's just ridiculous. Although you could argue Nepal's flag is pretty cool too. Nepal has just I don't know why, but they've got very low IQ on average, like very low. Nepal does. But they've got a nice flag in terms of the shape of it. North Carolina flag. I think it was South Carolina, the flag that I really like. Yeah, I think it was South Carolina. With like the crescent moon. Oxygen deprived. Yeah, that's possible in Nepal. That's possible. Your engineering professor is from Nepal, and he said his country working is looked down upon. Most people just hang out. It's an interesting culture. You heard there's beef between Michigan and Ohio. What's that about? That's, I would imagine, about a sports rivalry. If you could change something or add something to the American flag, what would it be? I think we have an amazing flag. We have like the all-encompassing, just badass flag. I really like the way our flag looks. I just think it looks really cool. The color scheme, the stripes, the stars. Just look, and the thing with flags, it's so important when they're small, they have to look good, and it's like it's small and it looks really good. I do like the idea of just a symbol rather than all of the everything going on. Just a flag with a symbol. But I think our flag looks really good. Honestly, I'm not sure I would really change much. Did you see the guy who goes around to different college games and pisses off fans? The one game, yeah, I think I've seen that guy. Yeah, I've seen him on YouTube. Minnesota flag, dude. How did they change that? Of course, it happens. Minnesota with walls and stuff. It looks terrible, and then how they changed it, like it was just so bad. There it is right there. Oh, how is that flying next to the American flag? And the American flag is upside down? This guy is such a clown. That was a decent flag, at least. The seal, I agree. The seals are boring. Eagle flags are always so badass. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Depends. An eagle would, if done right, an eagle flag would be badass for the United States as a secondary. How would the stars be arranged to include Alberta? It would be easy to rearrange them probably and just scale them a little bit differently, and it wouldn't really change much. Ohio-Michigan beef goes way back. Toledo was supposed to be a part of Michigan and almost went to war against each other to fight for it. Yeah, in Toledo, there's a lot of Michigan fans in Toledo. A lot. Smallians have invaded Minnesota. Well, how do you think Ilhan Omar got elected? That Ilhan Omar is a good example of someone that just, I guess Jasmine Crockett is as well, but it's, but with Omar, I mean, she does not like the country. She just doesn't. She does not like the United States. She doesn't really like, I mean, she doesn't have a ton of power, but it's just one of those things to where it's pretty crazy. For a country anywhere to elect her, she does not like the country. She does not have allegiance to the United States. She does not care if we succeed. She's an elected official somehow. Okay. You ever do an April Fool's joke? I mean, definitely when I was younger, for sure, with friends and stuff. We never at school. I don't think we ever did anything crazy. There was anything crazy for April Fools. Are they still eating cats in Springfield? Shocked you didn't do a live from there. No, I mean Springfield is pretty far away. I mean, you know how it is in the United States. It's not like, oh, everywhere in your state it's 20 minutes. It's pretty far drive for me. I mean, yeah, maybe I could have crashed off of that, but honestly, it'd probably be awkward for me to go there. But I mean, I don't know. There really hasn't been much talk about Springfield. It was like an election issue. Trump said he was going to do a rally there, never did. He did do a rally, with somewhere in Colorado with the Venezuelan gangs, but he never ended up coming to Springfield. Do you think Alberta would need to be a territory? Yeah, it would have to be a territory and then a state, unless they somehow, unless it was part of the agreement that they were going to be a state. I mean, I guess you could do that, but there has to be. I mean, they would be admitted for sure because of just their natural resources, their population. They would certainly fit the criteria of becoming a state. There's no doubt about it. But I think the process is they become a territory first. Do you live near Cincinnati? No, I don't. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this live. I'm gonna hop off. But I don't know, man. I was like so fucking tired. But you know, when I start talking, I'm able to rein it in a little bit. I've been tired the past few days, and I've been getting sleep. But I go through these things. I think these weird cycles. Tim Walz is a great American. Will be the next president. April Fools. Yeah, that's a good joke with Walz. April Fools joke. There'll be a lot of it tomorrow, I'm sure. You go to Cedar Point a lot, do you? I haven't been to Cedar Point probably since like 2019. But yeah, Cedar Point is one of the top 10 amusement parks in the U.S. You could argue like top 5. Why does Walz even think he's relevant? He's stupid. It really is a joke, like what he's saying about like tripling down on DEI and all this stuff. It's just all stuff that like their own party would say, no, we don't want to do that. Like we're trying to win. So it's like their own party would go against what he's saying, and he's doing all these rallies and stuff. And I guess this is like the liberal cope to where they like Bernie Sanders is doing these rallies, Walz is doing these rallies. They're going out with like local people. Beto O'Rourke is out there with Walz. And it's, you know, they're trying to like pick up the pieces. They've had a horrible loss.